Okay, welcome everybody to Wall Street Reporter's next Super Stock, a live stream March 3rd. We are back with ESE Entertainment, ENTEF, over the counter. Conrad Vasella, the CEO. Conrad, welcome back.
I'm back again. I love to be on the show and educate shareholders of what a great company we have here.
You're back like Arnold Schwarzenegger. So this is, and things are actually, this is some incredible results. We're going to get right into that. So for anybody that's brand new to our program, our goal is to bring you those stocks which have that 10x to 100x upside potential. These are companies going after massive multi-billion-dollar market opportunities. They're at a key inflection point, and there are multiple catalysts in place right now which can ignite that massive increase in shareholder value. Of course, we've had 8, 9 of these 10x to 50x wins in the past 18, 20 months. ESE is one of them. The stock is pulled back, so we're in the from 37 cents to 4.50, back at $1 and change. So there's a for anybody that missed out on the first run, this could be a good time to take a look right now, because look, I always think if a stock did it before, there's a precedent that could do it again. The path has already been paved, so it's not like anybody, it's not a could it happen. It's just it's a probability thing. So with that said, Conrad, congratulations, incredible financial results you just announced. So I'd like to kind of spend a little bit of time getting into that, because these numbers are incredible. I mean, massive. I mean, we're going to show the chart in a second. Massive increase. We'll talk about that, and then we're going to go into what's happening with the other updates, the metaverse, what you're doing with the metaverse, and then we'll open up for audience questions. And I hope we get a lot of good questions, because those of you watching, it's your questions that make these events special. So, Conrad, with that said, I'm just going to pop this thing up on the screen right now, because I think this kind of tells a big part of the story.
This is the story. I said, grade me on the numbers. Look at the green arrow. From basically 0 to 6.24 million in the quarter, 3,000+% year over year, 25 million run rate. And guess what? The best part is this does not include 2 of our recent acquisitions. So I'm so happy to actually get these numbers out finally, because they're old news. They're from 2021, but they're massive. And now you guys can bring it together. Okay, 25 million run rate plus 2 more acquisitions, one of them being Game Addict with 24 million in revenue. It's pretty simple math, and we anticipate continued growth in our quarters, and we're just so excited to post these numbers once again, executing, getting the audited financials done on time, and the green arrow shows you where we're heading.
Yeah, so we should also emphasize that it is important. People take these things, they think it's mundane. Like, getting the financials out on time, getting keeping the reporting. It's a challenge for a lot of small emerging growth companies, especially when you're doing a bunch of acquisitions. So I think investors should they should note that not only have you delivered exactly what you've been said from day one, that you build this into 100 million plus revenue business. And you're halfway there in less than a year, but you've also the company has kept track of all the details, dotted the I's, crossing the T's. So the transparency, the accountability, everything is there. Bottom line, execution, So So right now you're at a roughly I'm looking at a 50 plus $60 million run rate if we take into account the new acquisitions, which is Game Addict, right? And also what is it, Frenzy? Is Digital Motorsports included? I think we only got like a month of it in these numbers, or
we actually only got 2 weeks of it in these numbers. Okay. So there's some additional results there too.
So it could be, we could be north of 60 million basically right now.
Like I said, Q1 is coming out very soon. It has to be posted by the end of the month. So
End
Those
of this
numbers
month, end of March.
correct. And those
Okay.
numbers are coming out in a hurry.
Okay.
And then Q2 is when you're going to see Game-Addict added on. But the
Okay.
exciting part is you're going to have a nice
Conrad, I think the internet froze.
Q1 come out.
Okay.
You'll see the organic growth consistent. And then Q2, now we're talking Game-Addict has a
Conrad? Okay. Conrad?
yeah.
Okay, I think there was a delay in the internet for a second here. So we didn't hear. So basically, you were saying that okay, Q1 the Q1 numbers. What are they going to show? Is that going to include Frenzy and Digital Motorsports?
Correct. Yeah. So it's really nice how it's laid out, right? So you'll
Okay.
see a lot of the organic growth. You'll see Frenzy and Digital Motorsports. But as a shareholder, now you're going to get the upside of Q2, which includes Frenzy. Which includes Game-Addict, which is going to be that kind of cherry on top of the cake. And we consolidate all the great acquisitions we did. So all the 5 deals we did in the past 18 months, finally on one revenue line. And that's when you'll get a really nice picture of where we're at. And that's not including what we have in the pipeline too, right? From an M&A standpoint. So it's really exciting.
Yeah. So
It's really
we're actually today we're not going to talk about the M&A because we're going to just focus on what we've done so far. Because we'll say that for the next one. But I think it's important first of all to basically show that what the company has accomplished in terms of actual execution, also the organic growth, which we're going to touch on. But okay, the first quarter numbers Q1 is going to include a full quarter of Digital Motorsports, right?
Correct. And a full quarter of Frenzy. Yeah.
A full quarter of Frenzy. So that's 4 or 5 million a quarter. That should be approximately, right? So we could be at some decent numbers for this month. We're going to see that.
It's coming so fast. We don't need to give any guidance. You're going to see the numbers. You're going to
basically okay. So if I'm kind of doing the math, the quarterly revenues for Q1 is going to be roughly 10 million. Roughly, I'm just kind of extrapolating from what you did before. So we should be in that 10 million range. So that's a 40 million run rate. And then of course Q2 is that's going to include what we call it, the Game-Addict and everything else. And that's 25 million. So that's going to show us a $15 million plus quarter.
So this is why I got a smile on my face. Like I said, I can't give guidance, but hold on tight. Our next 2 quarters are going to be very exciting. And what I'm really excited about is just the organic side too. And just all the synergies getting unlocked now, the team working off the same platform, the integration being implemented. It's a very optimistic outlook from the ESE team. We're fired up. We got something really special here.
Yeah, so let's kind of talk a little bit about that because we haven't spent enough time talking about the synergies that you're getting through all the different operating parts. Just maybe for anybody that's give a quick rundown of all the kind of operation. I think you have it on a slide, right?
Yeah.
And then let's talk about the synergies because that's really I think the part that a lot of investors are missing is that the whole idea of doing these acquisitions is that 1 + 1 = 5. So
exactly, that's exactly right. And the reason I put it on slides is because I wanted to show it in a visual. I've talked about it, but I want to put it in a visual, right? So if we go, so this is the easiest way to understand our 360 solution. So as you can see, ESE dead smack in the middle. And our 360 solution around it. So when we get a contract, you could see Frenzy executes on those 3 points. WPG executes on those. Digital Motorsports. I'm sure Jack will put this up on his page after for you guys to read in more detail. But just read through it, guys. The synergies are so blatantly obvious and they all mesh together. And that's what I keep talking about unlocking these synergies. And it's just tremendous how everything's coming together. And if I kind of go down the line with some more slides here, this is our production capability, right? World-class studios, production. So keep in mind, the 360 solution is this. If anyone internally needs production, we have it, okay? At the highest level globally. If we need to acquire new customers, Game Addict is doing that for us. So look at the acquisition of players for Roblox, for example, 3.4 million new players.
So Roblox is a client of Game Addict.
Correct. Correct.
Okay. And you
Game
got
of Thrones, yeah.
So Game Addict, okay, so this is okay, so explain how this works. So basically the business, what does Game Addict do? And these are impressive numbers. So Game Addict has delivered over 3 million players to Roblox.
Exactly. So let's use the example. So Jack comes out with a new game called Wall Street Reporter, the coolest game on the street, and he wants to let the whole world know and acquire new users. So he comes to ESE and he says, "Can you help me?" We say, "Absolutely. We're going to provide you with Game Addict. We're going to bring on, depending on your budget, a few million new users onto your platform." And then you say, "Wow, you did a great job. Can you also help me with production?" "Of course we can. Let's take you to Frenzy Studios." Then you come back and say, "Wow, that's phenomenal. Could you also provide fan engagement and monetize my platform in the metaverse?" "Absolutely." That's our WPG and Frenzy arm. So this is how it works. So when the publishers come to us and we deliver these type of numbers, they come back and say, "What other services do you guys have? How do we get more involved? How do we tap into your strengths and services?" And that's kind of how we unlock these synergies. And then, you know, from a perspective of digital motorsports, once again, this is a live view of the World Cup from last year. Who did their production? Frenzy did their production. Who's going to be doing their customer acquisition this year? Game Addict. Once again, unlocking those synergies and bringing tremendous value to each core business. E-commerce. What does an e-commerce platform need? They need new users. We just went over it with Game Addict. They're going to help drive new users to that e-commerce platform, generate huge sales and revenue. This is how all these pieces are starting to come together. You have the esports team, Kick, branding, marketing, being engaged in the community. Once again, adding tremendous value to that 360 ecosystem. And then fan engagement, WPG, sometimes overlooked, but tremendously valuable. You know, WPG ensures that we have and retain those clients. So they don't just come and leave, they come and they're sticky. And if you're a business guy, the most important thing of any business is stickiness of your client. Is he going to stay with you for 5 seconds or is he going to stay with you for 5 years? Guess what? With the WPG network, the customer service is tier 1 and they are going to stay for 5, 10, 20 years. That's the life cycle of the client gets retained internally. So as I'm walking through it, you could see how everything just ties in perfectly. And it's really exciting because when we sit down in executive meetings, we're all going, wow, this is all making sense. The revenues it's a proven model. The revenues are coming out, the synergies are getting unlocked, and everyone's looking at each other going, it's time to scale, and we're going to scale fast.
Okay. So I think pretty much with the market, I'm wondering, what is the market missing? Like, what is it I think that they're missing in terms of, because really the stock should be trading at, look, we've seen the valuation, the comps in the esports space, they're, 10x revenues, in this market, there might be six times revenues, whatever.
The lowest ones you could find.
In theory, ESE should be trading at, between $6 and $12 per share based on those comps. So
the lowest ones you could find is like 5 to 7 multiples. Groups are getting acquired at 10x revenue models.
Last month, I think it was last month. I think was it Saudi Arabia, the government?
1.5 billion. 1.5 billion US dollars. Okay. I mean, like I said, do your homework, do the comparables, look at the trajectory, look at the speed of the trajectory, what we've accomplished in such a short period of time, and the consistent execution quarter over quarter on, like you said, all the nitty gritty stuff from audits to posting financials. We're always on time, ahead of time. We're delivering numbers. We're acquiring accretive groups. I just walked through the groups we acquired. Tremendous value adds to the ecosystem. Tier one operators. I mean, I'm a broken drum, but I'm going to keep beating that drum because every quarter is going to go by. I'm going to keep saying the same thing. And
I think at some point it's gonna basically I think what needs to happen right now is, look, if we were in this if you were delivering this type of news flow this time last year, the stock would be $12, no question. I mean,
yeah.
maybe $15 plus. The market is, there's been a little bit of a shift, with tech stocks getting beaten down. Although ESE has actually outperformed, on a relative basis, a lot of the peers. Like if you look at, DraftKings, Fubo, I don't know, not Penn, but a lot of the, a lot of these tech stocks, Teladoc, what have you, Zoom, a lot of those guys are down, 80% plus, sometimes in the 75, 85%, compared to where they were last. And, ESC has actually, held on to, a decent amount of gains. The stock was 37 cents, 13 months ago. Today it's a buck and change. So which is pretty good. A lot of you guys have done a complete round trip. So
yeah, and I pride myself on, look at the 6-month chart. We're green, right? Look at the yearly chart. We're green. There's not a lot of gaming or tech companies that could say that. So I think that in itself shows you the value of the structure we built, the value of the shareholder base. And what that does is creates a platform, a baseline for, like you said, when people do wake up to the story, it's going to be a very interesting
this is
ride, right? I mean,
this is
sitting there. Yeah.
It's what's when the market changes, which it always does. Like, right, look, we've been in a bear market for micro caps, for small, let's call it innovation stocks, for 12 months. It was 12-month market, and at some point, what is it? This is gonna end, right? And things, everything goes in cycles. Bull markets don't last forever. Bear markets don't last forever. And the great thing is, the value, the upside is kind of built in right now. So when you have those numbers come out in April, I guess maybe the first week of May, possibly.
Yeah.
So we're about 6 weeks away, 8 weeks away from that, which are going to show this 50-60 million run rate. That's going to be impressive. That's because that's going to be what, $15 million quarter. Of course, you can't say that, but we're kind of doing a little bit of math here. So a $15 million quarter plus. I'm sure you're going to have other deals in the pipeline. Let's not focus too much on the M&A today, but I do have to ask you, what's in the pipeline right now? When can we expect to see something?
I mean, I can't give guidance, but the smile gives it away every time. Our company is in an unbelievable position right now to execute. When the market does get a little kinder to us, we're going to unlock our treasure trove of M&A targets, and we're going to start ramping it up again. But I'm going to keep it consistent, 100 million plus in the pipeline at all times, 24/7, 365. That pipeline is buzzing, waiting just to get a little bit of movement on the market, and then we get to go and execute at a fair valuation, because right now, we're just too undervalued, and I have to be fair to our current shareholders. But when things turn, I'm going to be back out there, and it's going to be aggressive.
Okay, so we got about 5 minutes. We got a tight timeline today because we got another company coming up in a few minutes. So I want to get to a couple of questions we have. Before I get to the questions, just a quick one. Can you give us an update? What do you do? What's happening with the metaverse? I know you've had a bunch of news releases regarding metaverse growth initiatives. People are interested. Just give a quick recap. What's going on there?
Just super quick, guys. The most important thing is we're already generating revenue and profits in the metaverse. That's point number one. Boom. That's the most important thing for us. Second phase, we just signed a deal with MetaChain Technologies, 20 years experience in the space. These guys are going to just help us unlock some monetization opportunities, and most importantly, add valuable, scalable technology. So how do you scale a business? You start implementing new technologies and then monetizing them. So we're primed perfectly. We're making the right partnerships. We're announcing them. We're excited about them. And you're going to start seeing the metaverse on the revenue line as well, with organic growth in the metaverse, which is unprecedented. People are just trying to figure out the metaverse. We're already monetizing it and making money. So I think we're ahead of the curve. We pride ourselves at being innovative and always kind of one step ahead. And numbers don't lie. If you're making money in the metaverse, you're doing something right, because people are just starting to figure it out right now.
Yeah, so the multiples, I think the market will, we're going to see the upside. Okay, so we got a bunch of questions. Let's get into those. We got a bunch of accounting-related questions. So I hope you have your CPA on standby. Let's just see if we get about 5 minutes here. Okay, so Samantha's asking, Conrad, pedal to the metal, more M&A, looking forward to more M&A. When do you expect to announce the sponsorships ad revenue for Frenzy and eNASCAR? When do you expect to have a major eNASCAR tournament?
It's actually a great and timely question. I fly out next week to meet with a lot of the individuals on the East Coast to discuss not only eNASCAR, but our whole digital motorsports platform. And we have some very exciting things in the pipeline to monetize. And you're going to see some really cool news coming up in that regard. But I think with big groups like eNASCAR, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. You want to build with groups like that for 3, 5, 10 years and create growth strategies with them. And that's what we're doing.
Okay. Nicholas, I think it's an important time to address the company's year-end financial. Okay, we've always looked at we've always had. Can you clarify the balance sheet, net loss, cash position? So basically, you have enough cash on hand to.
I'll simplify it for Nicholas, because I know he's asking me, why did you lose the amount of money you lost? Guys, you have to understand, when you read the balance sheet, the losses include the acquisitions, okay? So if you acquire a company, those go on your books as losses. Moving forward, because those are off from 2021, you won't see those losses moving forward. So those are called impairments. So that clarifies that number. Going into Q1, 2, 3, 4, you'll get a cleaner view of where we stand as it pertains to cash, profitability, and revenue, because you won't have that additional burden of the acquisition losses on there. This losses also include, one-time fees, listing fees, legal fees, accounting. So that gets bundled into a category as well as losses. So as we grow, those also decrease. So you're going to have a fun time reading our financials moving forward, because it's going to get cleaner and cleaner. And as it pertains to cash position, we're in a healthy position. And also having Game Addict come in with almost 5 million in profits makes me feel really nice in the morning, because that adds a lot of cash to the till, and we run a really tight ship. So we're in a great position, guys. And I think when the numbers come out, you'll be able to extrapolate all this information even more.
Okay, so we got a few more. Let's see if we can get to a few more questions. Okay, let's see. Cole is asking, can you comment on the purchase of WPG being listed as an impairment loss and the recognition of an intangible assets not meeting recognition criteria? Explain what this means.
Yeah. So we won't get into detail because we have to jump on another call to explain this, because I know we're on a tight timeline. But Cole, it's referring back to what I mentioned. As part of that acquisition process, those impairments go on your balance sheet as losses. And moving forward into 2022, that's a one-time loss put on the balance sheet for WPG. So that's in the past. We're moving forward in 2022, and you won't see that on the balance sheet moving forward. To that point, guys, let's also remember it's important to look at the numbers for 2021, and I want you guys to dig into them and read them. But let's also remember that's 2021. Let's hyper focus on 2022 when the numbers come out, and really you'll have a clearer view of where we're heading, because last year we're talking 5 acquisitions, right, in a year. So just keep that in mind. We're moving forward. Let's dig into the numbers moving forward, because that's the most relevant point of the company, right?
To that point, okay, so can you clarify the Game Addict's net income, 4.7 million from operations?
Yeah. So I just mentioned that, and I used a rough number of 5 million based on historical numbers. That's when we acquired them. We're looking at historical revenue numbers. We hope that actually increases, obviously, moving forward. But since we've integrated with them and completed that transaction, I think that number has the opportunity to increase, but it's very accurate.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, so here's a question. From what I've read, Game Addict may not be cash flow positive. Press releases are famous for skewing things in a way that make things look good. Can you address this?
Absolutely. I told you, come and read Q2s, and then you could ask me the same question. I'll be online, and we could bring up save that question for when the Q2s come out.
Okay, so that's going to be in late April, early May.
Yes, and I think you'll be pleasantly surprised.
Okay, excellent. Kevin is asking, Connor, what are you most excited for in 2022? That's a good question.
Well, not to be super vague, but everything. I mean, I just had a tremendous call yesterday with the team, and the direction this industry is going, our platform is in the esports gaming industry. All these new sectors and NFTs, metaverse that are popping up, the underbelly of this whole thing is still esports and gaming. It's the same demographic, it's the same type of person. So we're entrenched in this tremendous opportunity, entertainment, the whole thing. We're right dab smack in the middle of it, and it's just moving so fast. It's growing literally quarter over quarter as an industry, and it's adding because now there's NFTs, now there's metaverse. I mean, it's just unbelievable. There's new games in the metaverse. Like, if you're talking about a snowball, it's the best industry to be in. And if the blue sky is endless, it's literally
because these games that you showed before up on the screen that Game Addict is involved in, like a lot of that stuff ties into these altcoins, this crypto stuff that's being
everything. The synergies are unbelievable.
Yeah, so it really is like it's incredible. But also I think we should add that for Game Addict, one of the opportunities that you talked about it, you kind of hinted at, is that look, their business is customer acquisition in esports primarily, right, or gaming, but they could also, one of the things that they're going to be doing is going into like iGaming, sports betting, because it's the same thing, right? It's the same talent base.
So that's why it's a loaded question. So you say, what am I excited for? How about this? How about we unlock iGaming? How about we unlock mobile? We're just scratching the surface here, guys. When you're going to see this thing really pick up steam, we're going to start unlocking some opportunities in the near future. It's just exciting to be a part of this company. We are in phase 2. And we're going to take off. I mean, this is phase 2, right? We got something special on our hands, and we're just going to keep beating the drum and just keep delivering.
I think basically, look, the theme for last year was, the M&A opportunity in the esports infrastructure space, which, nobody really knew if you could do it or not, but you showed you could do it. You're up to 50 million, on track to the 100 million plus target, which is an intermediate target. I think you've hinted at 200 plus million at some point, 250. So we got that. And all right, Conrad, we're out of time. We're going to catch up to you next time, and I guess that's a reason for people to stay tuned and see what else is coming up next.
Let's make a date for those Q1s to come out, and we can continue the buzz, continue the momentum. We're super excited, guys. Thanks for being loyal shareholders, and go do your homework and take advantage of a great situation.
Okay, excellent, Conrad. On that note, thank you, and we'll catch up with you next time, hopefully with some more exciting news from ESE.
Always, man. Have a great day, and back to work for me. See you later, guys.
All right, let's get ready for our next exciting presenter, NuRAN Wireless. Hang on, let me just get this set up for you. Okay, Francis, can you hear me?
I do. You?
Oh, perfect. Okay. All right. You're in Barcelona now, right?
I am.
Okay. I thought we'd have you on the show floor, but I guess the show it's already over.
No, seriously, we're European time, so we're party time now. Look.
Yeah. Of course.
So and we're hosting an event here in the apartment because renting an hotel here, it's quite expensive. So we usually use apartment, and we have a pretty wide one. So we have a couple of hosts there. I'll go there just after our interview today.
Okay, perfect. So before we get into all the details about what's going on, let me just do a quick intro, and then we'll get started. Okay, so
yes.
Welcome, everybody, to Wall Street Reporter's next Super Stock, a live stream March 3rd, 2022. We are back with NuRAN Wireless, NRRWF over-the-counter, NUR on the CSE. Companies going after a multi-billion-dollar opportunity, or at least $1 billion plus opportunity in Africa telecom, and actually other developing markets, including Latin America, Pacific Rim. So let's get into the details of, Francis, what are you doing in Barcelona? You're at the Mobile World Congress right now, or just wrapped up today?
Actually, I decided that I had enough of COVID-19, so I wanted to fly away and go somewhere else. That's the only reason why I'm here. No, it's Mobile World Congress. It's the biggest telecom show around the world for a company like us. Typically, this week was a little bit, I would say, not weaker, but slowed down compared to before the COVID-19. That show usually hosts 120,000 people a week for 4 days, where the big telcos, the Orange, the Deutsche Telekom, the Vodafone, the Orange, and also the Huawei, the Ericsson, everybody book like 70% of their year here at the show. It's a lot of movement. Everybody's are here, C-level from all these operators. So that's why it's important for us to be here. We need to set the tone to what 2021 is going to be. And this year has been fantastic for us. I will not be able to disclose everything that we've accomplished this week. It will be coming over the next couple of weeks. But seriously, we're super happy of what's going on. 50 to 70,000 people there. We also won an award this week, as well as they call it pitch to pitch, a contest against a couple of, I don't know the number of companies with whom we have compete against, but we were the winner. We were in the middle of the street, big screen, like in Times Square, like presenting our company. It's a major achievement for the company.
Okay. We'll talk about the pitch to pitch and all the other stuff. But this is really okay. So the Mobile World Congress in Barcelona. This is the industry show.
Yes.
You've been there basically. Today's Thursday. I think this is, it ended just now today. So 5 days. Your voice, you sound a little like you've had a lot of
I
conversation.
I have nothing left, Jack. I'm done.
What kind of,
Seriously.
so who have you been meeting with? What kind of meetings have you had that, what can we expect to see in the coming weeks as a result of this, or months? Really look, not,
Actually, since we did the shift of business model and we've entered into that network as a service, everything changed. And I would say that 80% of our week was booked already. So we had a lot of meetings with the MTN, the Vodafone, the Orange, and different tier two operators across Africa. Also, Latin America came to our booth. Our booth. We were not going after them. We were not racing them. They were coming to our booth to say, okay, what can you do for us? So that was amazing. A great show, well organized by the team. We had tremendous success throughout the show, and I think we will see the result in the next couple of weeks.
Okay, so this is an important point for people to understand. Why these major blue chip telecoms, you have Orange, you have Deutsche Telekom, you have everybody. Why are they coming to you? I mean, you were in the Canada Pavilion. We saw the pictures in
Yes,
Twitter.
yes.
You were there, so they're coming out. Why do these big companies, these are multi-billion-dollar companies, why do they need you for? What are you doing for them?
Actually, they invest their capex investment year after year after year is on improving networks, is on over the top solution, is on mobile money, is on everything, but the rural is left over. So we need to take over. They need partners like us to cover their obligation with the regulators to cover the region that are uncovered these days. And we tap into a lot of the I would say the SDGs and everything. So we help them achieve their goals, their objective. And the cool thing about what we've heard throughout the week is that now the big groups, Vodafone, Orange, MTN, have objective to reach on the rural side, and we are one of the partner that is really well positioned to help them achieve their goals. So that's why they've committed to meet with us. We had several meetings. I was booked from 9 to 7 p.m. nonstop. So that's why you hear my voice now. I'm completely destroyed. I've been talking all week, but also listening to what they wanted and how we can help them to achieve their objectives. And that's what the week has been all about.
Okay, so this is an important thing for investors to understand. One of the big challenge for companies is hey, how do you get business in the door? How do you generate revenues, get sales?
Yeah.
So in the beginning, obviously, you have to knock on doors. Now, they're coming to you because they've already seen they're seeing the kind of the success that, or really that's the track record. I mean, you're demonstrating a proven track record in developing out these wireless networks in these rural areas, which they need to do. So now all these guys are coming to you because you're a proven partner. Nobody likes to take chances. These are conservative companies, right? So this is something where once they see that you're able to deliver, you become kind of like the default choice.
Exact. Plus the financing, we've demonstrated our ability to close financing with the DFIs to build that infrastructure in Africa. So they are coming to us because they know we can deliver. That's it. So we're becoming a partner of choice to deliver their objective, by the way.
So, look, we're going to have a lot of new people watching this. I'm going to ask you to give us a recap of the business, but before and what the company does. I don't want. We do have a lot of existing shareholders on. So first, let me just ask you this. You mentioned something interesting. So all these big telecom companies, right? Once they go into a market, for example, like let's say in Africa, right, which is the next really massive untapped, last big market opportunity in the world, literally.
It is.
And so a company like, let's say, Orange or Vodafone, whatever it is, they want to go into that market. And it looks like basically the government or the regulator says, okay, if you want to be in our market, okay, we want you to do, build this, but as part of the deal, you also have to bring in these rural areas onto the system.
Exactly.
That's really what's driving here. They don't have a choice, really. It's not like they're doing this voluntarily.
And before us, they preferred to pay fines with their obligation than to deliver because their ROI were too low. But the way we did it with our technology, with the way we deploy with the lowest TCO in the market, now we're becoming the solution for them to fulfill their regulatory obligation, but also to enable them to acquire more clients, to acquire more revenues. And the way we have structures the contract, I would say the terms really satisfy everybody objective there.
Okay. So I don't think a lot of people understand this and this is, kind of going to be a big driver for the business going forward. It's like, this is what's really going to push these this is what's pushing these customers to you. In other words, they really don't have much of a choice. In other words, they basically, part of the contract that they have with these governments is, obviously, look, the government wants to have, mobile access, internet access for all their citizens, especially in these rural areas, because, without the communication, the phone is essential to getting things that we take for granted, for whether it's communication, to contacting with relatives, jobs, healthcare, education, economy. Everything is dependent on community, and we've been taking for granted in the West for out of the last 100+ years. But they're not going to build wireless, wire lines. Everything is going wireless.
No.
Their banking, everything is wireless.
Exactly.
In the developing world, everything is you need a phone, and you're putting this up. So they need to get this done. So before, I think they, again, like you said, they paid fines because they wanted to basically focus on, the low hanging fruit, the easy thing, big city, putting up power, and you're helping them reach this. And of course, look, not only is it a good business for them, but people also, you're helping basically lift a lot, millions of people out of poverty. You're improving their lives, healthcare, education, everything else. So, if people want that ESG angle, this stock is definitely, I think, a much more effective than, better bet than, I don't know, warming, whatever it is. This is like something immediate. Okay, so for anybody that's new, explain exactly what you're doing, the network as a service model, the markets here, and just a quick recap for anybody that's tuning in for the first time.
Okay, so we're building infrastructure, the tower, the power, and everything. We're bringing like the mobile network connection to remote rural areas. This is what we're doing, and we're connecting it to the mobile network operator. So we become an extended arm to the MNOs themselves. So for the people in the United States or Canada, for example, so they are used to the AT&T, the Sprint, the Verizons, the Telus, and the Bell. In Africa, it's MTN, it's Vodafone, it's Airtel, it's Orange, and these guys have hundreds of millions of subscribers. In Canada, we're proud of Telus. They have 8 to 10 million subscribers. It's nothing. Those guys are way more not bigger in terms of numbers of subscribers, but it's growing. But they have a massive need of company like us to help them achieve their goals, while they are investing in the 4G and 5G in urban areas. The rural that is left over, this is what we do. We bring connectivity and we connect back to the network, and we're changing people's life by connecting them to the network for the first time. This is what NuRAN is all about. We've developed the technology. Sorry, I'm a little bit tired. My voice is completely derailing from the track, so I'm trying to be as precise as possible. But we're doing really great here. We had a great week here discussing with those guys.
The most important thing for investors, they want to know is, okay, the path for NuRAN to be a $1 billion valuation company. We've talked about this before because I think this is
it's coming.
Compelling. So the network as a service, explain to us the path in terms of, you have contracts in place, right? You have contracts in
Yes.
place with Orange, with MTN. You're getting some
MTN.
others. Explain to us how it works from where you are now and how you can get to, let's call it 100 million revenue, 50, 200 million. And because, the valuations we know are, 10x plus multiples on those revenues. You have huge EBITDA. Walk us through the model, the path to get there.
Today, we have 2,500 sites under contract. We are starting delivering, so we have 60 sites delivered today. A site is the tower, the radios, and everything, covering like 5,000 plus people per village. Our objective is to do 10,000 sites like this moving forward. Each site generating $20,000 yearly based on our current assumption. So, and this is growing and growing. And this week it has been all about building that confidence and trust with the operator partners to be their partner of choice to deliver on their objective to connect the rural Africa. But if you look at this, there's 300 million people to be connected in Africa. Our goal is to connect 55 million of those people, and that will be generating like $250 million US in terms of revenue, with $125 million US in terms of EBITDA, because we're running into a lean type of operation, because we don't have this major overheads of being a mobile network operator. So we're delivering this service, operating it, maintaining it with extremely low cost type of infrastructure. That's what our equipment are built for, and it allows us to be extremely successful. So it's growing. Our objective is to do 10,000 sites. We have 2,500 sites in the pipeline. It's growing. That was one of the purpose of this week. And the purpose was also to grow this 15,000 sites pipeline. And we've achieved the goals that we were looking for this week, achieving that, but we're aiming in the right direction, Jack.
Okay, so right now you have a contract to set up 2,500 sites. So basically,
exactly. 3 contracts.
All you have to do is just put them up. I mean, the deal is done. All you got to do is just put up the tower, and the revenues start flowing in.
Absolutely. So once you have a contract, then you need to finance it, and once you're financing it, you need to deliver it and then start accumulating revenue. This is what we're at today. So 2,500 sites. We have an MOU with MTN Namibia that we've signed last week, or anyway, 10 days ago. These guys are super excited. It will be the first time that we will be delivering broadband with our XG platform, broadband being the internet connectivity, like you can stream Netflix. Of course, for the ones that we're delivering now.
Watching the Wall Street Reporter in Namibia.
You can watch me live, and you watch you and me live on TV. Exactly. That's about it. So it's 4G only type infrastructure that we will be deploying in Namibia, and it's growing. MTN wants us to start delivering and connect the rest of Africa. And the cool thing that we've learned throughout the week, FYI, without disclosing what it's all about, now the African CEOs of the different opcos, or the different subsidiaries of those large telecom equipment, telecom operators, they have objective of developing rural, which is good for us, because now the opportunity is here. We need to slam it, and we need to make it work. And we've been meeting with all of them, so we know exactly what their needs are, and we will be addressing those needs in the upcoming weeks.
So yeah, this is something. I mean, look, they've had wireless there for years, but these rural areas have basically been left behind. So, and this is something which everybody wants. This is like the last thing everybody wants to really catch up, and you have
exactly
300 million plus people. So the opportunity is there for you to get to 10,000 towers in Africa, and that would generate 250 million revenue, 120 plus
for
EBITDA.
Our objective. But I think that we will surpass this easily. We have had a lot of Mexican or Latin American meetings throughout the weeks. With a lot of the major players like Telefonica, like NRRWF in Mexico. These guys are ready to go. They love the story. They love what we're doing. And for now, they're just learning that they can make it work for us with our network as a service model. So it works perfectly fine.
This is basically a game changer. So before, all these companies, whether it's in Latin America and Africa, essentially they want to bring, I mean, the rural thing wasn't a priority because there was no way for them to do it. Now so they paid fines essentially. Now they can actually make money by offering the service.
Absolutely.
So, okay. Bottom line is, if you get to this 250 million revenue, that would be, I don't know, 2 billion plus valuation, or, at least $1.5 billion valuation, 7 times revenue, 8 times revenue. So that would be, potentially, $20. Excuse me, potentially a $20, basically a $20 stock price. So the company's on that path.
It's tomorrow. I think we'll achieve that tomorrow, Jack.
What you say? Because this is.
Well, we're getting there. We're getting there.
We don't
Actually, we need to achieve our numbers. We need to make it, and we need to deliver. We need to start rolling out. We need to demonstrate the revenues are there. So, of course, we're early stage, but we're on the right verge. The mobile network operator, the clients love what we're doing. And I think it will just show up in terms of revenue in the upcoming months and years. Jim has been here, a CFO in a sales type or marketing type shows is typically not the type of person you bring, but Jim was here just to validate those things, just to make sure that the needs of those mobile network operator are met. So it was a fantastic week for us.
Okay, so I guess the one. So you got the contract. You got 60 sites so far. What kind of rate are you putting up the towers right now? Like when can we see, let's say, a milestone of, I don't know, 500 towers? Let's say, because I think that would be a good, 500, the first 500.
Yeah,
because that would mean 10 million a year.
This year objective is 560 towers. Next year is 1,200. The following years is 1,000 to reach the 2,500 sites that we have under contract this year. But it does not prevent us from doing more. Actually, the reason why we're doing this that way, it's all based on the money coming in from the debt or the financing that we're putting in place in terms of debt, in terms of equity. So this is how we achieve our goals. Of course, delivering all of those infrastructure requires financing. We were able to demonstrate that we can raise financing. And this is one, between you and me, it's not technology. It's all of everything that is related to this infrastructure installation is related to financing. Financing is huge. Financing is important. We've been able to close 24 million US to close, or to confirm $24 million US with DFIs. We're continuing on the equity piece, and moving forward, it's going to be the key factor for us. And this is what the MNOs are interested in. They want to see a company that has the ability to deliver, but they want to see a company that has the ability to finance. And we're ticking all boxes. It works really well. So this is where we stand today.
So I think it's very important also for anybody that's new, for them to understand that when you're talking about financing, this is not going to be dilutive. In other words, this is all debt financing that you get from, one of these development banks, quasi, these are like, competitive interest rates. These are not,
Sorry. Big noise. No, it's just that people are just having fun and just want for them to run a bit quiet. Can you repeat the question? Sorry.
Okay, so I think it's important for investors to understand that that when you're talking about finance, that you need financing to put up these towers, right?
So of course.
this is not going to come from, dilution in terms of, massive raises. The money's coming from, debt financing that you're getting from, these, you have different government agencies, you have development banks where you have, competitive, very compelling interest rates and terms.
So, and you actually, we can't disclose who these development banks are, but they were with us during the show, meeting with our clients. So just to validate that it was real, it was ticking all boxes, and we want to raise debt as much as possible. Our objective, because we have created a NuRAN African holding structure.
Oh yeah, you're okay.
I accidentally touched the pad. Sorry. So this is where we are bringing the money. 75% of it will be debt. The rest will be equity, and the equity will be valued differently because we're bringing that equity at the private level. And we are valued differently. It's not, of course, if we had a valuation with a stock price running at $10, we would be looking at this differently. But right now, the fact that we're bringing equity at the private level allow us to give a lower stake inside the company that is valued differently using DCF, using different multiples in terms of comparables in the industry, like the tower codes, which are trading like 8 or 10 times EBITDA. And the plan EBITDA for us, you've seen that it's pretty huge. So the valuation allow us to bring like a multiple $1 million equity stake into the African holding company with a lesser stake in the company. So this is what the objective is.
Okay, so the numbers you've talked about so far, that's just 2,500 towers, all that stuff. That's just based on what you have right now.
Yes.
You're at a trade show. You had a bunch of meetings so that we could see potentially a bigger pipeline developing, opening up in the next couple of weeks in terms of more, 20,000 towers, Latin America, I don't know, the Philippines, whatever. What can we see?
So first of all, the cool thing is that the 15,000 pipeline of towers that could be built, we've just went an extra step to secure that business for us, but we've also add up to the 15,000. So I'll be reporting later in the new pipeline, but it's growing. So the cool thing is that, yes, we had at least, I would say, 80% of our week planned already. But cool thing, we had a lot of those new tier 2, even tier 1 MNOs that came to us saying, I saw what you guys are offering. Can you do it for us? So we're piling on top of this. So it's still growing. But if you look, you understand the weighted value of a pipeline. So I think we've increased the weighted value significantly throughout the week. So you will see this coming in the upcoming days and weeks. I'm telling you.
Okay. All right. We got okay.
Ready?
Francis, on that note, I want to thank you. And I'm sure everybody watching is going to be looking forward to getting this news flow about what's coming out of what came out of the show in the coming weeks and months. So it looks very exciting. Francis, again, thank you, and I'll let you get back to relaxing after a long week.
I'll go back here. Sorry for the background noise. Thank you very much, everybody, for following the story. It's going great. We have won this award, part of the MWC. Everybody were super excited. I was in the middle of the street of MWC, interviewed, and everybody could see that.
Francis, I'm sorry, I forgot. I completely forgot. What was I didn't get to talk about the award. What is the award that you won? This the pitch to. What was this all about? What did you do there?
Okay, they opened the contest this year compared to the other years to bring, I would say, like more attraction to new companies that are presenting their offering and things like this. So I don't know the number of companies which came into the contest, but we happened to win. And we won on the fact that we were in a operation mode. We are changing people's life. We are connecting the unconnected, and they were super excited about this. So we won this. We were against, I don't know the number of companies, but we were able to win this contest. And of course, a lot of visibility. GSMA is going to push for us, Mobile World Live. And actually, we were on everybody's lips. I even received on my phone congratulations from the Orange MEA CTIO saying, "Hey, Francis, I saw you on the big screen. Congrats, man. I like what you guys are doing." So we're getting exposures. We're getting a lot of traction from the different mobile network operators. So we're getting there. It's just coming. Stay tuned. 2022 is going to be a year of delivery, revenue, more contracts. It's all coming.
Okay, yeah. So definitely look. This year is like that big inflection point where we could see,
Absolutely,
revenues really scale and all these contracts. Okay, excellent. Francis, on that note, again, thank you, and we look forward to seeing this massive news flow in the coming weeks. Thank you again.